So I did a little Ching reading just now, just earlier, just to sort of examine my fate yet again. And I drew hexagram steps, which consists of 5 unbroken lines and 1 broken line at the fourth line on the hexagram. I can't remember which number the hexagram is, but that it refers to situations that might be inherently risky, but in this case there is very little danger. One steps on the tail of a tiger at his or her own risk, and says that at this point this act might be ignored or seen as playful. And yeah, like it also points to the mingling of people from different social backgrounds, and the sign is typically positive. Then that changed to great achievements, which is a very positive hexagram, and it refers to the importance of standing your ground, and not being distracted by luxury and leisure, but working hard towards your great achievements and not letting anyone dissuade you from your path, basically. And I have this morning been feeling the force of internal forces, internal monologues, if you like, sort of trying to dissuade me from my path, trying to sow the seeds of doubt in my mind so far as it concerns this space elevator project. And I think, like, it's important to listen to that sort of stuff. It is important to listen to doubt. We must never shut out the voice of doubt completely, because the voice of doubt, on the one hand, might have a point. It might actually have something to say. And I suppose the hexagram great achievements refers to standing your ground despite strong currents tugging at you, which translates to something like, that not everyone might be in alignment with your cause. You might have to stand alone for a certain time. It sort of it implies these sorts of things, that you should hold firm to what you believe in. And I think I want to do that. I want to go after this thing. I think I'm inspired by it. It fills me with passion and energy. I think it could be a great boon to civilization. I think it could move us towards a new stage of civilization, towards a stage of civilization in which we become a truly multi-planetary species. And I did the tarot also. I got the Wheel of Fortune for the past, Judgment for the present, and the Seven of Pentacles for the future. And the Seven of Pentacles, I won't go into what the Wheel of Fortune and Judgment mean, but the Seven of Pentacles upright mean it depicts a labourer resting on his hoe, I think, after having worked hard, and it explores the concept of reaping what you've sown, of gaining your reward after a period of hard work, toil, and it explores the concepts of perseverance and patience in waiting about for the fruits of your labours. So, what I've done on this project all the important things that I need to do prior to this next stage. Well, almost all the important things I need to do. I need to put this PowerPoint presentation together, but that'll take me an afternoon. I've done a couple of other readings this morning, and things have come up things to remind me of the importance of working with others. And I do indeed sincerely want to work with other people on this project, and part of the conference will assist me in connecting with people who may want to work with me on it, who may be as interested in the idea as I am, may have lots of skills and expertise to offer, and who want to bring about this great innovation. And that's also partly why I'm doing it. But the image of the Seven of Pentacles, the man resting upon his implement there, this labour in the fields, it signifies to me that a period of rest has come after hard work. That's partly what it signifies to me. That the reward has come, the fruits of my labour have come, but he's still in the field. if you see what I mean. He's just finished work, and he's like standing by a heap of, well, gold coins. On the one hand, 7 gold pentacle inscribed coins, which is sort of sitting on a pile of some sort of crop, if you see what I mean. So the work of harvesting has been completed, but by no means has the produce been sold yet, if you see what I mean. So, like, I've got this, the harvest is over, I've got the idea, I've got the harvest, if you like, I've got the concept works, it's theoretically possible, it's technically feasible. Many different people have sort of come up with this. I mean, in fact, I came up with this about 3 years ago. So, yeah, it must be 3 years ago now, almost. 2 years ago and 8 months, 2 years and 8 months ago or so, when I was working down in Somerset in the Castle area on a dairy farm, I'm not long term 30. So, and the idea of putting lift balloons on a structure like this, that had already existed. There was a concept out there already for that. The idea of putting jet engines on it, though, I'm not so certain I hadn't come up with that. And the rocket engines for the Mesosphere stage, I certainly came up with that innovation on my own. And I completed the concept, which may have analogues with like a few different people's suggestions on the internet that I've managed to uncover, even though I don't know their names or how to contact these people. Now, I don't think, like, if I don't deserve all the credit, I don't think I do. It should be shared with these people because they've also put in a lot of time with thinking and applied their own expertise to the problem, and have thought about it enough, to come up with the same thing. It could even be sui generis, like this conflict that occurred between Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz concerning the invention of the calculus. And I think it's generally accepted that Leibniz came up with the integral calculus, whereas Newton came up with differentials. So yeah, which are 2 forms of calculus which sort of imply one another in various ways, as I understand it. But it's like the end of a period of labour, possibly this. A long period of toil. And what I get out of it, is not financial reward, not a big mansion or a fast car or anything like this. What I get out of it is a sense of satisfaction at having innovated in some way. And if I were to patent it and prevent other people from creating the same thing without gaining a license from me, I could become fabulously wealthy. That's a real possibility. But maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want to keep it all in the Creative Commons and just let other people do it as they please, and if any royalties come down the line, then they go to me. At some point. So to be rewarded for this, I might have to wait a very long wait. But I'm also not so troubled by that, because I've been poor for over a decade, very poor, living on benefits. I'm used to it by now. I don't think having a lot of money in the bank, always having enough money in the bank, enough money, crucially, that is useful to me. That allows me to live and buy the things that I want to buy. Probably in the future, I expect more vapes, since I want to get cigarettes out of my life a bit. Or do I really? I can smoke a few rollies here, there, and everywhere. But I don't want to smoke nearly as many rollies as I was, I don't think. No alcohol, Maybe no cannabis in the future. I've said this before though, I really have, and I've always reneged on that. I've always been tempted by weed. Then again, I'm thinking like, actually decent weed unflocked with chemicals that's not super fucking strong, like the sort of like middle of the road strains you get in the Netherlands. Like, they're perfectly safe. It really is just high potency cannabis, which is the problem. But all the street weed you get in the UK is high potency. And it's the same everywhere else in Europe. So like that's the reason why the Netherlands has such a comparatively low rate of psychotic illnesses. Like even in Germany where they've legalized it, like high strength weed is still the most popular weed to buy on the streets. Like it was in Spain, like it was in Portugal, like it was in the UK, like it was in France, you know, where psychosis rate, like the psychosis rate in Spain I believe is about 660 per 100,000. In France it's about 450 per 100,000. In the UK it's about 740 per 100,000. One of the highest in Europe, the highest in Western Europe is the UK for psychotic disorders. To change subject completely. In Germany it's 300 something, 30 I think per 100,000. I'm not butchering that statistic. Far lower, probably because of weed legalisation to some extent at this point. Nowhere near as low as the Netherlands though, where it's 15 to 30 per 100,000. Because they've had a long-standing infrastructure of legal cannabis sale, where you can buy the strong weed if you want, or you can buy something a bit milder. And a lot of people do go for the mild stuff, which I mean gives you a nice little high and relieves stress and is pretty actually good for you. I don't know. This is like a period of reflection maybe on what's gone before, and also what's coming next. And it's interesting to ponder all the possibilities and the challenges as well that are coming. And figuring out like my life's work and what I intend to leave behind as my gift to humanity, what I invested my time and energy in trying to accomplish. And you know, maybe I'll end up being like Newton with alchemy, and this has just proved to be a huge waste of my time. I don't know, and it'll never work. But it's worth attempting, isn't it? Isn't it? I think. I've done all the stuff on gravity. I've more or less finished off that theory. And Newton wrote his Principia Mathematica at the age of 42, or he published it at the age of 42. He'd probably been working on it for a couple of decades prior to then. But you know, I've got to compile my Principia, I suppose, between now in the next 9 years, which I mean, I don't think is such an onerous challenge alongside all the other books I want to write. And the books I have written, which probably amount to 7 or 8 at this point, considering all the poetry. I could probably get several collections of poetry together and publish them and get them out there in the world, but that requires money, which I don't have. I can't do it so easily on benefits. So I've got to get a job and all that jazz, which I don't mind because I like working and I want to actually work on farms again also. That's the other thing I'm thinking about. I do want to go out to Ireland and work on farms out there. And I'm capable of doing it. I mean, I was up at 3 o'clock this morning, trying to work at something, figure out what to do. Did 50 types of one press up, 50 types of another press up, so I can do 50 press ups, you know, and two like those press ups and those press ups. That's all I did, but if I can do basically 100 press ups with a little break in between, then I am in pretty good shape, I think. And I'm very capable of working on a farm. So let's do that again so I can earn up some money to to continue with my various projects. I could even maybe sell some paintings. I can do that. It's always like stock taking moments, and like trying to recover my own sense of confidence and belief in myself while being cautious of overweening ambition, overextending myself, being cautious also of burnout and working too hard, and yeah, like these sorts of things. It's a headache. Conserving energy, realizing this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's not do it all now, quick. It's like be careful, considered, cautious, think about every possible angle to the thing before moving forward. Strategize, plan, think about the various challenges that I have to overcome to see this thing done. And with Astrodyne rocket jets, there's a lot of things on that plate that need attention. Like to build the Space Elevator in the first place, yes, a huge rocket will be necessary. In fact, many huge rockets will be necessary to launch 50 to 60 kilometers of structure into space and all the ion thrusters and everything else. Many rocket launches. But even that could be possible. And other projects like hydrogen-powered, rocket-propelled airliners going hypersonic around the globe. Maybe that's a technology that could be made commercial by such a company. And it could potentially make a lot of money. But it's not the money I'm interested in so much as I'm interested in the technology itself. And I said really about the glory the other day. I'm not even interested in the glory either, necessarily. I don't really want to be well known. I quite like doing like an Emperor Augustus and just working in the shadows sort of thing. I quite like that actually. I quite like the anonymity. I quite like being able to talk to people as an ordinary person without being some massive celebrity. I do quite like that. But obviously I want to do glorious things. Something that truly is glorious. So in a sense I do want the glory. I don't want to do something inglorious or despicable or that's not respectable or deviant in some way. I don't want any of that. I do want to be remembered. I've got to be honest with myself. I've got to be honest with myself and with you people. I do want the glory. Yes, I do. True glory. Rather than being remembered, ignominiously for doing something shameful, i.e. Glory is not such a bad thing to aspire to. To be highly regarded and honoured and esteemed in your community, in your culture, to make a lasting impact upon civilization and to change it for good and for better. That is a great thing to aspire to. And indeed I do pursue that. That is what I turn my attention towards. Not merely success. There's this vague notion of success, or for something that might be very ephemeral, or something that might be very short-lived, a flash in the pan, or someone like these TikTok influencers who hoodwink a load of 13, 14-year-old young boys into following their channel, and they follow them because, they're a wise man or something. And they've got 1 million followers on social media, and on a level they're very famous, but they're doing something sort of shoddy and ignominious. I don't want any kind of shoddy, cheap, half-assed success. or fame. You know, not all these people like, oh, I want to be famous. I'm going to go in the Big Brother house. Or go on a talent show. Or be Kim Kardashian. You know, all these people famous for being famous. Or, you know, there's some people who just want to walk down a fucking red carpet. Or who fetishize like award ceremonies. And, you know, have got their little speeches planned out in their heads like years beforehand. Like, it is warriors, martyrs, heroes, toils. And being the real hero and achieving glory means you've got to go through fucking trials. You know, the trials of Hercules and these sorts of things that, you know, to gain that reputation is earned always if you're going to achieve the true glory of that's possible in life. It's not it comes about through great deeds, you know, not through words or cheap words. I mean, glory can come about through being a great sage, for example, and providing and giving and sharing wisdom with humanity and leaving a stack of great books behind for people to pore over and ponder for generations hence. It can be done that way. Through masterful skill at art or literature or you know, whatever else, or science and mathematics and engineering. And yeah, indeed, like I never found I had many spheres of influence, it turned out, that I could be competent within. Perhaps greatly competent in a few. But this space elevation thing, that this can't be a single-handed endeavour. I can't be an army of one. I need people on my side. So yeah, it comes down to this conference next month. It's got to go well. I've got to convince these people, these experts, to join me in this endeavour, basically, to get behind me. So it all comes back down to that. I need to get back to Hazelwood to get my fucking laptop so I can actually work on the PowerPoint. That's going to happen today or tomorrow. It's not going to happen today because they're short-staffed again here. It might happen tomorrow, but I don't know. Oh my god. And this person, Dennis someone, who has provisionally given me an invitation to give a lecture there, he's probably going to expect this PowerPoint presentation pretty soon, and I cannot do it on my phone like I'm doing on these videos. Maybe I can ask, like, can someone do it for me? Just this one time, I don't know, but maybe not even. But 9 slides, assessing the engineering potential. I could send you an email detailing everything I want in the slides, but someone would actually have to put it together for me. Maybe I can do that even. Or we could do that. Anyway, thank you for watching.